Well, good morning, everyone. Thomas Montgomery here. It's a beautiful Tuesday morning, January 25th, 2022. We get together with our distribution partners most weekday mornings at this time, about a minute or so before 8 o'clock Central, to go through strategies, tips, techniques, success stories, and provide support to each of you. There's a couple different moving parts that all form to make our topic today. So we're going to be looking at three reference pieces on my shared screen. We have the agenda that I sent to each of you this morning. We're certainly going to go through that as promised. I do want to tie that, though, to the entrepreneurial ecosystem, and then also to the 4-week funding site, which is specifically what you can use to add white label partners that you earn overrides off of. We're not MLM, we're not network marketing, but we know that there's a power in offering people an economic incentive to spread the word. So I'm going to start with the entrepreneurial ecosystem here on the left. Now, I did send this to each of you as a graphic prior to today's call. Prior to the pandemic, we did in-person trainings for our distribution partners, and we put in this long whiteboard. I think it might have been 20 feet long, literally, and we would spend almost an hour building this out. But I'm going to respect your time, so we won't spend an hour on this topic. But why is the entrepreneurial ecosystem relevant? It's important and relevant because there are many other people, entities, and organizations that if they knew how you and we can help small businesses, and in many cases, if they had an economic incentive to do so, could feed a significant referral volume to you. Now, depending upon their type of entity, their circumstance, they might just refer to you, or they might actually want to become a white label partner under you, whereby they're paid and you get overrides. So of course it'll depend. Let's work around the clock here. So at 12 o'clock, business bankers and lenders. Now, when we're looking at the entrepreneurial ecosystem, we need to look at it at what's in it for them, not what's in it for you. So what do business bankers and lenders need? In many cases, they need one of two things. They need help in getting their unqualified clients qualified. And secondly, or they need somewhere to send their denied clients. I used to work for the SBA. You've heard this story many times. I worked for the SBDC, Small Business Development Center, funded by an SBA grant. And so that's where I got most of my clients. I would reach out to bankers. I'd let them know that if they have clients that are not ready to go to funding, they're needing a loan package, they don't meet other underwriting criteria, refer them to me. Sergio, who's one of our white label partners on the webinar right now, he is an expert at doing this. And now he has a bit of a modified approach. He tends to hire veterans, produces business cards that certainly emphasizes their veteran attributes, and sends them out to business bankers to let them know that there is a resource to help those declined clients or not yet qualified clients get assistance. So what is it that the business bankers and lenders want? Either they need help with getting clients to get their loan package ready and or to meet the qualifications. So they would refer to you, and then we would get them ready and we'd refer them back. Or in some cases, they have people that are really train wrecks. They don't really want them back, don't expect them back, but they need something to say other than, no, you're not approved. So I almost would recommend put your picture right here in the middle of the circle. Take out this access to capital reference, and this is you at the center. You're the sun, and the rest of this is orbiting around you, right? So business bankers and lenders could be strong referral partners of yours. They're probably not going to receive any type of economic incentive because of a conflict of interest. They probably are not going to, again, want to be paid anything. But if you were to reach out to business bankers and lenders to let them know about how we can help small businesses build financial literacy, build their loan package, and help them get qualified for funding for a minimum 100,000, That could be a very strong referral source for you. Let's move to the right over to 3 o'clock. There's all kinds of key influencers that should know about you and how you help clients access a minimum of $100,000, regardless of personal credit scores, regardless of time in business. What are some examples of key influencers? Pastors, chambers of commerce, meetup groups, business organizations, trade schools, employment resources, could be many more. So you could brainstorm others, but you get the idea. They have a sphere of influence. Now, their relationship with their sphere of influence differs, doesn't it? So pastors have congregations. Do all members of a congregation own a small business? Of course not. Do some of them? Yes. Are there others that would like to start a small business if they had the support and the capital to do so? Absolutely. So pastors, while it's not a one-for-one match, in other words, not everyone in the congregation is a prospect for access to capital, a material number are, therefore, that would be relevant. Obviously, chambers of commerce. Chambers of commerce are almost entirely made up of local businesses. Could be large, medium, mini, or small. So do chambers have a relevant relationship with small businesses that they could help spread the word? You might be able to even provide some content for their newsletters. You might be able to do webinars or in-person workshops to talk about access to capital, of course, and on down. Let's go down to 6 o'clock. Co-working spaces and office buildings. So that's where businesses aggregate. That's kind of where they're housed, right? That's where they're officed. So I know personally, I've gone to multiple co-working spaces, met with the owner and or the director and said, hey, how can we collaborate? Because it's going back to what's in it for them. Well, they would like tenants that could pay their bill. They want tenants that survive, not that close. They would like tenants that need more space because they're growing and need to hire more people. And then we get over to the business professionals at 9 o'clock on the clock here. So I could have just labeled this in general insurance agents, and that's going to tie to our topic that I'm going to get to in just a moment, but also voluntary benefit agents like Aflac and Colonial. There's people that are out offering merchant cash advances and merchant card processors. They're out knocking on doors, literally or figuratively, on a regular basis, interfacing with small businesses. If they knew of you and your offering, your proposition, which is highlighted here in the center, they very well likely could become a referral partner of yours. And they might very well want to become a white label partner whereby you receive overrides. Legal shield reps, website developers, business coaches, accountants, tax preparers. Let's go to business coaches for a moment. So business coaches have a very intimate involvement with their clients, right? They're goal setting and monitoring and holding them accountable. But do business coaches work for free? No. A lot of times those services can be a bit expensive, a good value, but a bit expensive. So what if you could provide their coaching clients a minimum of $100,000? Would that allow the coach to do more coaching because now the person has a larger budget? Would merchant card processors like to have clients that grow and generate more transactions because that's how they're paid? Would insurance agents like to have more relationships with small businesses that are growing so there's more employees needing voluntary benefits? Of course. So the entrepreneurial ecosystem is an important way to step back and understand you're at the center of this, and you really should consider becoming known in your sphere, in your community, with these different types of professionals, entities, and organizations about what you can do. And you can approach them just simply from an educational perspective But I suspect about half of them would not only be interested, but also would like to earn extra income. And so they could become a white label partner on your team. Doesn't cost them anything. It's not MLM, again, not network marketing. There's no pay to play. And now all of a sudden they have a really strong economic incentive, or maybe they would just refer to you and you could monetize that or not, depending upon the individual's role. So the entrepreneurial ecosystem is an important concept because our topic today really wasn't that, but it fits into it. We were going to talk about key person policies. So what is a key person policy and why is it relevant? We've had separate training on key person policies and it's on the white label page. So I'm not going to go too deep on the front end of this, but the bottom line is what you and I do as technical advisors are really three things. We help small businesses improve financial literacy, and that is sorely needed. You know that, and I know that. Most small businesses don't know what they don't know. They're not prepared for a capital raise, but all they know is I just need some money, right? I need money urgently in many cases. So we build financial literacy. That's number one. And that's done typically through the 4 modules, which you're probably familiar with. It should be. Number 2, we help build a lender compliant loan package. Of course, that's what's referenced here. And there's numerous things that go into that loan package. We'll talk about in just a moment. And then thirdly, the third thing that we do is help them access capital, minimum of $100,000, and we guarantee that's in writing. So let's go back to the second one. In terms of what we're doing in building a loan package, what are some items that go into the loan package? A business plan, balance sheet, income statement, financial forecast, a bio or a resume of the owner or owners, and also a key person policy. So I'd like the record to show, I'm not here to say, because that would be inaccurate, that every source of capital needs every element of a loan package. That's not true. But what you and I do as technical advisors is help them build a robust package. And over a 4-week process, we do that, figure out what they have in place, and then we can determine what the right source or sources of capital would be based upon their credibility factors. So to be more direct, does every source of capital require a key person policy? Of course not. Not every source of capital requires any one thing. Not all of them require a business plan. Not all of them require a balance sheet. However, should all businesses have a business plan? They should. Should all businesses be able to generate financial reporting to know what the heck's going on with their business, including income statement / profit and loss and balance sheets? Of course. And should all have a key person policy? They should. The key person policy can meet 2 levels of needs. And I'll mention this and we'll move on down the agenda. The first of which is it's set up typically as a collateral assignment. So the insurance policy, which is what a key person policy is typically owned by the business, not by the individual, but by the business itself. The beneficiary is normally the business. And then the insured is the key person, the owner. Anyone with 20% or more ownership really should have a key person policy. So the first application of a key person policy is that it can be set up as a collateral assignment. So while the loan is outstanding, if the key person should die, that the lender is paid first. So the lender is not the beneficiary, the business is the beneficiary, but the collateral assignment allows the insurance company, in case of death during the term of the loan, to pay off the loan. Now that's good for the lender because they don't know what's going to happen once the key person's gone. Will the company continue? Will it be successful? What's the succession plan, so forth. But also it's good for the business because now that debt is taken care of. And so if it's a spouse, a family member, a subordinate, whomever's taken over the business, they're not saddled with that debt. So 2 levels of relevance for the key person policy. We get a lot of questions regarding, well, how much should the key person policy be? There's a few ways to answer that. I think that the most simplest way is that it should be the amount that the client is wishing to borrow. But that's a very much of a shotgun approach. More specifically, it really needs to be the uncollateralized portion of what the borrower is wishing to finance. But really, the truth is neither of those. It's really that the insurance agent, and they're good at doing this. So if you're not familiar with this, don't be burdened with it. If you're not a licensed agent, you shouldn't really be talking about this much with the client. You just need to make a referral and get out of the way, because you're not legally licensed and trained and capable, most likely, of having these discussions with clients. But the point is that the insurance agent is going to be trained to do an FNA, a financial needs analysis. And they're going to look at that person and that business as a whole. I can tell you that most people do not have proper asset protection. And that's even more true for most small businesses. So the end result is the agent will decide, based upon the suitability and mitigating circumstances of the client, what should the coverage be and what type of coverage. Maybe it'll be a permanent policy, maybe it'll be a term policy. That is between the two of them. So unless you're the writing agent, I would respectfully suggest that you, just like I, step out of the way, allow the professionals to handle it. Whoever the agent is that's working with the client will do the FNA and get the policy set up properly based upon the client's specifics. All right, so now let's get into the financial model. As you know, as a white label partner, we have it real simple. I think it's a sweet deal. There's no cost to sign up as a white label partner. We've covered that. And we just do a simple 50-50 revenue split off of 3 triggers, right? Off of the deposit, off of the performance fee, and off of the key person policy. So there's 3 triggers, and we're talking about the third one. There's a little asterisk behind key person policy. I do want to clarify that while we do a 50-50 split off the key person policy, number one, the agent can write with whatever carrier or provider they want. They can write whatever type of policy that they want, of course, it's client suitable for. And any good, well, I'll say this is probably too strong, but any good insurance agent won't just leave that relationship with the key person policy. They will have found other areas of need, whether it be annuities or indexed universal life or dependent life or group benefits, whatever the circumstances may warrant, for other policies. We're not in that agent's pocket for all that lifespan of that client, which could very well be tens of thousands of dollars of commissions. But we did agree when you became a white label partner to do a 50-50 split of the KPP itself. So let me pause there before I go further. If you can use the Q&A function of Zoom, are there any questions on what we've covered so far? What a key person policy is. And again, if you're not licensed as an insurance agent, you don't need to know too much about it, and you shouldn't be talking about it. If you are a licensed agent, then you should know about this or work with your insurance organization to fill any knowledge gaps. That's not really our role. And then also, are there any questions about the financial model? This isn't anything new. It's not anything different. It's what we had in writing from the beginning. So we do a 50-50 revenue split on these 3 areas, including the key person policy. Anyone have questions or concerns on that? Okay, if you have any, pop them up there. So now, if you don't write the policies yourself, and I left that generic or broad because it may be that you're licensed, but you just don't want to write the policies, don't have the time, don't have the interest, don't have the inclination, whatever the reason, or you're not licensed, so of course you wouldn't be writing it, then there are 2 options. And you're going to see one of those 2 options fits back to our entrepreneurial ecosystem. So what would really make a lot of sense, I can't emphasize this enough, what would make a lot of sense is for you to go out and let people know, including insurance agents, not just Aflac Colonial, but let insurance agents know who you are and what you do. Why would that make so much freaking sense? Because those agents are out there trying to develop small business relationships too. And what you can do is become the door opener for them, add them as a white label partner, and now you get overrides from them. So option number 1 is work, and I'll leave that generic, work with an insurance agent who writes the policies for you. Why in the world wouldn't you do that? Because if you have this proposition, let's say we've got Winston here. If I went to Winston and say, hey, Winston, you're a licensed insurance agent. Do you write key person policies? Yeah. Would you have time to write an extra, I don't know, 5 to 20 policies a month if I referred them to you? These are contracted clients that need it for their loan package. Winston's going to salivate. He may be orgasmic. He is going to be typically so excited to get 5 to 20 new referrals a month. He's going to say, heck yes. And then what you would say is, okay, well, great. I need you to know, though, we're going to do a 50-50 revenue split. And also, some of these clients may not be local. So are you willing to get a non-resident license if necessary? And again, any of you that are sophisticated agents know that getting a non-resident license in most states, not all, but most states, is super simple, pretty quick, inexpensive. And if you have a bird in the hand, a client ready to write a policy, who wouldn't do it? So option number one is, if you don't write the policies yourself, you can bring on an insurance agent. You can work with an agent. I'd recommend recruiting a lot of agents and let them know that you have referrals. And I'd sign them all up, as many as possible, to be white label partners underneath you, so you get overrides. I mean, that fits into this ecosystem model. If for some reason that doesn't resonate with you, you can just simply let us know. And we have some of you that's on the line right now that are agents that are willing to write those policies. And we'll talk about that more in a moment. But I want to bang my head a little bit against the desk when I have white label partners that come to us and say, well, I don't write the policy. Do you have anyone that can write it? Well, yeah, we can match you up with someone, and we're going to again talk about that more in a moment. But that suggests that you're really missing this concept of how you should be working with other business-to-business professionals, including agents. Hopefully that makes sense. All right, and so that's what the highlighted here, and that's why it ties to this. So this is the training we went through yesterday. Scott created this. You can get a landing page if you want. It's not free, but it's next to nothing. And essentially then this would be coded to you. So this is the easy way for you to add white label partners that are in your organization. Doesn't cost you anything for them to come aboard, didn't cost them anything, and you get the overrides. We talked about that all yesterday. Okay, so that's the financial model. So I'm going to take any questions you all have about the financial model before we talk and wrap it up about, if you are a licensed agent and want to write for others, how to do that. But let's start with the financial model. So Winston has a question. So Winston says, well, wait a second. If I'm not a licensed agent and I'm out approaching insurance agents to refer to, and again, they should be referring to you too, Winston, right? Then how do I control that it's a 50-50 split? You let them know. You let them know. And that 50-50 split would be with us, right? Because that's the model. I was talking to, I think it was Tanya yesterday, and she's like, well, she's not licensed. And so now you got 3 parties involved. You got the agent, you've got the white label partner who's not licensed, and us. Well, the unlicensed white label partner legally can't accept insurance commissions. You have to be a licensed agent. So the 50-50 split stands. And if you're referring it out, then you may not be sharing in that revenue stream. If you want to write the policies, then you would be sharing in that revenue stream. But I think more important than that revenue stream is to be developing as many relationships with insurance agents and other business-to-business professionals as possible, getting them on your team as a white label partner, and allow them to generate their own income, which creates overrides for you. Now, some of you that are insurance agents, what you're doing is adding white label partners and then telling them, hey, I'm going, meaning you're going to write the policies for all of the clients that they bring aboard. Because, a white label partner will bring on at least 2 clients a week, 8 clients a month. And so let's say that we just bared down between now and the end of February, and you brought on 4 white label partners, regardless if they're insurance agents or not. So you can reasonably predict that then you would be writing 32 key person policies off of that organic sales funnel just from your 4 white label partners. And so if you are an agent and you're looking to write for more, certainly we're going to talk about how we can send some business to you. But even more important than that is the fact that you should be developing a team and then let that team know you're going to write the policies. Okay, so moving down home stretch here. So if you are a licensed agent and you're ready for referrals, as long as you can meet the 2 criteria, then you'll let us know. And we have policies for you to write right now, actually. So what are the 2 questions? And this is a big one because we don't want to be in the place of, oh, which state are you licensed in? Oh, well, you're not in Oklahoma. We'll find someone else in Oklahoma. We had one agent that came to us and said, yep, refer me business. So we referred him a business and it was an Oklahoma client. And he said, well, I don't want to get an Oklahoma license. Well, you've got a policy right there ready to buy. We've already introduced you to this white label partner who's going to be able to spit off 5 to 10 key person policies a month. Why in the world wouldn't you get a non-resident license in Oklahoma? So requirement number 1, if you want to be part of this referral pool, is you need to agree that you'd get a non-resident license wherever needed. Again, that's after, you can do that after you had your first conversation with the client, before you write the policy, you get the bird in the hand. Why wouldn't you do it? And then of course the 50-50 split. So if you want to be added to the agent list and you agree to the 2 requirements, email us at support@businessparalegal. If alternatively you're a white label partner and you need an agent, and for some reason you're not willing to follow this model, which is up to you, then we can assign an agent to you. You would need to let us know, and then we'll match an agent up to you. Okay, so let's wrap it up here because we're close to the bottom of the hour. So in summary, we started by talking about the entrepreneurial ecosystem, hoping that you'll think a little bit more strategically and broadly maybe than you have about the key influencers that could very well help you generate considerably more volume. And we went through different categories. Some of these could become a white label partner of yours on your team. Some just could be simple referral partners. Some you just may set up like more of an affiliate network where you just slide them $100 for each person they refer that converts. That's up to you how you want to work with them. But if you're doing a diligent job, you want to be involved with your community, and you want these parties to know who you are, what you do, and how you can assist small businesses. We went through the agenda of the key person policy and ultimately provided instructions. If you're an agent and want to be on the list, email us if you agree to these 2 requirements. If you're a white label partner and you need an agent to work with, send us an email and we'll assign you one. And then lastly, we reviewed again. This is just a simple landing page, nothing phenomenal, but Scott Stroud, our Chief Marketing Officer, will set this up for you, and it'll feed automatically into you. So you can market. You have white label partners that come aboard. They just fill this out, agree to the terms and conditions, are automatically placed in your team. You're automatically earning the overrides. Okay, so let's field any questions you have, and then we'll wrap it up for today. Okay, so Winston, you're correct. Winston, you can't get referrals from a real estate agent if you're not an agent, Winston. Winston, you cannot get legal commissions from attorneys if you're not an attorney. Winston, you cannot get insurance agent commissions shared with you if you're not a licensed agent, right? That's the way it works, state regulation. So I can't fix that. I don't want to debate it. It's just the way it is. So this 3rd bullet, if you're a licensed agent, then you can take part in that. If you're not, then you won't, unless you work out something off the record with the agent you're working with. Adam talks about chargebacks. That's a great point. So number one, and I didn't mention that, Adam, so thank you for bringing it up. Key person policy should typically be written on an annual pay basis. Most business policies are typically paid on an annual pay basis. So they pay the entire year up front. So that does a great job to really eliminate or minimize the likelihood of a chargeback. Most business policies are paid on an annual basis. Remember, in our model, we're going to get the client their first round of funding normally within the first 5 to 10 days. We call that the first tranche of financing. For most people, that will give them the cash on hand necessary to go prepay an annual premium for the key person policy. Thank you, Adam, for that question. Who else has any questions on our topic today? If you didn't plug into yesterday's training where we announced a revision to the regional vice president role, no cost, of course, and how you can develop a team of white label partners that also pay nothing and earn generous overrides, please go back and listen to yesterday's training. And then Scott Stroud, our chief marketing officer, will get you a landing page like this set up. Again, it's not free, but it's next to nothing, and then you'll be ready to go live. We have one of you that just got his landing page set up yesterday, and I bet we'll have 10 white label partners on board from that one individual by February 1st in the next week. So we talked about economic benefits yesterday, what that's worth to you. All right, so with that being said, thank you all for your time. We're a bit over 30 minutes. We'll see you back tomorrow morning. Let us know if you have any questions, need any help. Thanks, bye.